Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my follow-up video regarding the new camera edition for the channel, and right now I'm still shooting on the old Nikon because I want to show you guys exactly what the camera looks like now that I got it back from being repaired by Canon. Well, I tell you, I sure am glad this camera is back because I'm getting real sick and tired of dealing with the problem I'm having with the Nikon, which it occurred to me after I posted the last video that I think I had mentioned I was going to show a couple of the things about the Nikon that I really didn't like, and also what the current major issue with the camera was, and I don't think I ever ended up doing that. So we'll do that on this video. What we'll do is we'll just take a look at this, and then once I've got this hooked up and working, we'll switch over to this camera and we'll use this camera to show you the other camera. So this is exactly how it came back from Canon. You know, it was well packed, bubble wrapped. Canon, to their credit, they paid for shipping both down and back from the repair facility. So for those of you who didn't see the first video and are wondering what this is all about, this is a Canon model 70D SLR digital camera that I purchased for use on the channel as an upgrade to my current Nikon camera. And what ended up happening was I found right away that there was a problem with it, and the seller wasn't aware of the problem. I don't believe he was aware. So we negotiated a partial refund on my purchase price, and that I would keep the camera and get it repaired, because I had explained to him that it looked like Canon was willing to cover this under warranty, that this was a particular issue that they had with this camera, where it was, the camera would, what they call brick, which is, it would lock up in a manner which made the camera absolutely unusable. It would freeze. Think of it as like when your computer completely locks up and freezes and the screen freezes and you can't do anything, and the only thing you can do is reboot it. Well, to reboot the camera, you'd have to take the battery out, wait, put the battery back in. But it kept doing it over and over again, and it was only doing it in video mode after being in video mode for a little while. So, and then it was given an error message up here. I don't even remember the number of the error message now, but that was clearly a issue. Actually, I have it right here. So here's my information. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. They actually cut the label right off of the box that I shipped it back in. They issued a printable label. So I guess that's how they keep track of. And then here's the note that I had included with it, explaining that this is a Model 70D and it had the error 80 per product advisory. And then of course my personal information is on there. And then also they included this little blurb here explaining to me for information regarding the procedure to clean and help sanitize the exterior surfaces of Canon products. Please. Oh, okay, so this is probably a COVID-19 deal, letting me know that I can do that if I have COVID concerns about somebody else handling the camera. And then they also included this paperwork here, which explains the description of the symptoms, problems. Customer stated to get error 80, no power. That I provided it with the body cap, the eye cup, no battery, and no media, which is what they actually tell you. Don't send the lens, don't leave a lens on there, don't leave any media in the camera, and don't leave a battery in the camera. Okay. Service details. Your product has been examined and it has been confirmed it is experiencing no power. The circuit board was replaced. Product functionality has been confirmed. The shutter count is 40,557 and the mirror count is 23,103. So if you're buying one of these cameras used, there is a way apparently to find out what the shutter count and mirror count is. And what's good about that. My understanding is that obviously the higher that number, the more use the camera has seen and the more wear it might have. So the shutter count is 40,557 and the mirror count is 23,103. I don't even know. Is that high? I mean, we're talking about a camera that probably came out back in 2015, and it's at the time of this video, it's 2020, so it's a 5-year-old camera. Maybe that's not that unusual. So there's labor and shipping, and of course it's all zero because there was no cost involved. Okay, so here we go. PC board assembly, the main WL1 BAT. That's interesting. I'm just curious if I run that part number, whether or not there's a price for that part. So I definitely see some references here to this board. Here's somebody on, looks like it was on Canon Global's website, and somebody gave them information about the part number and said the new board will come with no data on it. You will have to order software that is online and allow you to program the board. So there's probably an EEPROM or something on that board, some sort of memory that would have like an operating system or God knows what, like a BIOS type of thing on there. And so the raw board doesn't come with it in there. Of course, if you buy one from Canon, they would probably program it before they sent it out. But then again, why are you buying it from Canon? Well, I guess maybe it's a situation where if it wasn't under warranty and you had to pay for it. So there was something else going on. I'm trying to. Oh, here's one. Okay, so here's Lens Tamiri is the website, and they're showing it's out of stock, but they had a last price of $290 for the board. So that's a hoot. And then, of course, our friend, good old eBay. Let's see if this is new or used. That's probably a good used one. Original main PC board. Fits Canon EOS 70D. Camera with software. Last one, $128 plus free shipping. Here's one, $100. So that's a different board. Okay, so yeah, that's a new board. So that's not as horrible as I thought. I mean, in worst case scenario, if I had to pay for the board, but then again, I don't know what Canon would actually charge for that board, and I don't know how much labor it actually takes, if it's just 1 hour or if it's a flat labor rate. I don't know. But I'm glad they covered it. So let me grab one of the lenses and a battery. So here's the lens that I ordered after I bought the camera and paid for, and it was being shipped to me, and while the camera was out for repair, and it came in. This is an 18 to 135 EFS lens, in case you're wondering what I ended up deciding to get. Someone has left a comment. I apologize, I don't remember your name off the top of my head, but someone left a comment with some really good information on lenses for doing video work, and so the one that they suggested was actually, I guess would be more like a wide angle lens, because it was like 18 to 24 millimeter or something like that. I don't remember, but they were talking about because of the lens being very short, I guess it lets in a lot of light, which makes it great for video work. And this is an STM lens, so this would be a stepper motor. And that battery is dead. Okay. Luckily it came with 2 batteries. This appears to be a genuine Canon battery, and in the foil area where they can imprint, it says 2014 space 12. So I bet you that means that this battery is a 2014, which I bet you that means this camera, that's around the time this camera was introduced, or not long after. So I believe this is a 2014 camera, and I believe this is one of the original batteries. So this might not be in such hot shape. Yeah, this is a 2014-07, so this might be July of 2014. So I got 2 old batteries here, unfortunately. The gentleman who gave me the tip on the lens also informed me that there is a battery eliminator available for this model. Battery eliminator is it's a cartridge that I believe plugs right into the port where the battery goes and allows you to run it off of an AC adapter. So Alright guys, we'll pick this back up when I have a charged battery. Alright, we're back with a charged battery in what seemed like almost instantaneous to you watching at home was maybe an hour or less to charge the battery. Not too bad. That's if it, you know, has a decent charge. Well, we're getting full bars here on the indicator, so that would make me think that we've got something going on. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. So it's asking me to set the year, the month, and the day. Oh, silly me, this isn't a touch screen. Okay, so this is now working. Actually, it just went to sleep. So I guess it's got a sleep mode because it's still on. This little switch right here, if I put it in video mode, if I press start, it wakes back up, turns the LED on, the LCD on. Anyways, point is, seems like it's working. Of course, we won't know for sure until I've had it and run it for a few minutes of video and see if it stays on, that kind of thing. I did do a couple of quick tests. I did set the time and date. I went through the menu. There's actually not much stuff in the menu that I can see. I was kind of surprised. I thought there'd be a lot more stuff. I'm sure there's other features to get into with this camera, that there's just other ways to get in that I'm not aware of. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do a quick video with the Nikon with me standing a few feet away, and basically just so I can do a side-by-side comparison. Because I don't know if you recall, but on the first video I did on this, I also was concerned about the audio level being significantly lower on this camera. So I wonder whether or not there was a problem that was resolved when they put the new board in, or is it just that this camera is what I thought, which is that it's got a reputation for having a very low amplification factor. So this is the Nikon Coolpix L830 camera that I've been using for a while now, and I'm standing at approximately 4 feet away from the front of the camera lens and speaking in a normal level of voice. So let's take a look and see how it looks with the new camera. Okay guys, and here's the new camera, the 70D, and I'm standing at the same exact distance away, and I'm speaking with the same level of volume with my voice. I'm noticing right off the bat, this is the widest shot that I can get set to the 28mm, the zoom, and I can see that the shot is tighter than the shot that I just did with the Nikon. So I think I definitely want to get a wide angle lens. I want to say maybe it was an 18-24 was the lens that was recommended to me for doing video. So anyways, I like the fact that I've got a view, I've got a screen that I can look at now when I'm out in front of the camera and make sure that I'm in the shot, that kind of stuff. Which actually, force a habit, I forgot to turn it around. Alright, so I'm going to do one more test, comparison test. I want to take a shot in a low light area with this camera, because this camera should be better in low light. I mean, just the fact that it's got such a larger opening aperture there. You know, we were talking about a lens that's quite a bit larger in diameter, should be able to let more ambient light in. So let's check that out. Alright, I'm standing at the same distance as I was before, and what I've done is I've shut off several of the lights that were behind me here in the shop to make this little area right here a little bit darker. I guess I could shut that light off right over the bench, but I think then it'll be a little too dark. But hey, what the heck, let's try that. In case you're wondering why I'm crouching down, it's because I just have the Nikon camera perched on something, because I was getting sick and tired of having to deal with putting it on the mount, which I'll get to that in a moment, which is a big reason what made me decide to finally cut my ties with the Nikon. So here I am in low light. Can you see the whiskers on my unshaved chin? Okay, here I am now standing in the same location. I do have the light back on over the bench, so it'll be the same as the way I started the last run with the Nikon. And now I'm going to turn that light off so we have the same light level as the end of that video. And here we go. What I see on the viewfinder actually looks pretty good. Not the viewfinder, on the LCD screen actually looks pretty decent considering how many lights I've shut off here in the shop. But hey, who knows? I look forward to editing this video so I can see the before and afters with the two cameras. Alright, so the Nikon. Alright, so this has a what they call a 34 power wide optical zoom. But it doesn't tell you in millimeters what that equates to. Or does it? No, actually it does. So down here it actually says 4.0 to 136 millimeter. But I wonder whether or not they're taking into account optical zoom capability and how that augments this. I'm sorry, what I meant to say was the digital zoom. Okay, so this is the L830. The problems I've had with this camera, design issues that I didn't like from the beginning. The fact that this viewfinder screen, or this LCD screen right here, it can be pulled out and adjusted like so, but there's no way to rotate it around so that you can see what's on this screen from the front of the camera. So this is really, the fact that it does this seems completely pointless to me. I guess if you're holding it down like this in front of you and you want to be able to look down at the screen, which I have no need to do. Okay, so that was a bummer. The other issue was, or is, that there is no input for an external microphone. You have to use the microphone in the camera. Now that being said, the microphone in this camera is actually pretty good, and the preamp works pretty good. Another issue with this camera is that it uses AA batteries, 4 of them. So what I did is I purchased these Energizer rechargeable batteries. I got a really good deal on several packages of these with chargers, and I've just been using these. They recharge quickly. I think these are nickel metal hydride. I honestly don't remember. So that's how I've been getting around it, but it's still kind of a pain. Battery life isn't as great as it could be. So that's the features that I didn't like. And then what happened was, and this is the death blow for this camera, right here, held in by 4 screws, was the little plastic mount, the threaded hole that you use to mount the camera to a tripod or whatever. And on this fancy new Canon that I bought, that is made out of, by the looks of it, brass. It's metal. Okay. On this camera, it was plastic. And what happened was, it didn't take long for the threads to get worn by the, typically a metal piece being screwed into it. Okay, I don't have one here in front of me, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So the 1/4 inch part that threads into these on most tripods is metal. And it didn't take long for that plastic to wear, so that you had to tighten it more in order to get it to tighten up, and it didn't take very long at all before the threads started to break out. So at first only like the threads at the very end were broken, so you could still get it to hold on, but it wasn't really secure. It was only being held on by a couple of threads. And then if the camera got bumped the slightest bit, it would just pop off and then break out, and then it just got ridiculous in the end. It was so bad. So I said, "Oh, okay, no problem. Hey, I've got the stuff here. I'm gonna redesign this. I'm gonna make it better. I'm gonna take this camera apart, and I'm gonna take out that plastic piece, and I'm gonna take a small square of metal, and I'm going to drill and tap 4 holes so that I can mount it in here, and I'm going to drill and tap a 1/4, 20, or whatever the heck it is, hole in the middle of it, so it will accept the tripod. Well, this deal, okay? So that screw will go into it. Well, get this. This was specially made and formed. This didn't just come out like a plastic block. It had a very specific shape to it. And the reason why is because right down in there, right to the right, is the back of the motor for probably the zoom. So there's a motor right here, and the back of the motor is so close to that that there's like literally no clearance in there to get this piece that I wanted to make in there. So it's almost as if like the piece that was in here originally, the way it was shaped, was very specific, and it just fit in there just perfectly. Why didn't I buy a new one of those? Well, what do you think that little piece of plastic should cost? Well, I don't know what it should cost. I mean, in my world, I would think $5 would be reasonable, but no. The only sources I could find online for that piece wanted $30 for that piece, and I think some of them still wanted shipping on top of that of like $7 or $8, which is absolutely an insult, because you're talking about a tiny piece of plastic that they're going to stick in an envelope, and they could mail it for the postage of about $1.50. So I was like, okay, now I'll go online and I'll find a used one of these that's broken, and I'll buy it just for that part, because this camera is not that valuable, right? Well, damn right it's not valuable. Found out how low the value of this camera has gotten pretty quickly when I went online and I found somebody offering one of these cameras in working condition. They only wanted $30 for it. Now, I'm not going to pay $30 for a camera that works perfectly, cannibalize it. So I mean, if I really want to have another camera like this, I could just throw this out and buy the one online for $30. But I'll tell you what, that listing ended. Nobody bought it. It was relisted, ended again. I mean, even at $30, it didn't seem like anybody was rushing to buy this camera. Anyways, oh, this mess right here, that's my failed attempt. I Gorilla Glued. I made my little metal block anyways, tapped it and threaded it for the 1/4 20, and then I Gorilla Glued it right to the body. I said, I don't care. Who cares? Camera's junk anyways, right? To me. Gorilla Glued it to the body. It actually held up for a while, and then I bumped it and it popped off. So, oh well. So anyway, so that's the story of where this camera is going. Oh, what can I say about this camera that I do like? The size and the weight. It's pretty nice. It's pretty well balanced. Oh, I forgot. I also, there's some very slight damage to the lens on this camera. I got a little bit of carb cleaner or something splattered onto this, and it damaged, it made some spots on the lens that you can't clean off because it actually did something to the coating on the lens, I think. Other than that, camera's been pretty good. So the next camera I'm probably going to upgrade is my GoPro, because I've actually just recently shot some more video with the GoPro. I like the GoPro because I have a waterproof case for the GoPro. The audio is horrible when it's in this case, but you know, if I want to take a camera and mount it on the rail of the boat and go along the water and take video, this is a safe bet. I don't have to worry about it, you know. It's got a lot of miles on it, a little bit of damage on the lens on this one too, but you know, maybe I'll look at, there are a lot of aftermarket Chinese import knockoffs of these cameras now that can be had for cheap money. My kids each have their own version of the knockoff GoPros, and they're actually pretty decent. Matter of fact, my older son's one is it's a 4K. It shoots in 4K video, which this I think this can, but at a frame rate that's really poor. I don't remember exactly, but anyways, it's 4K. It's Wi-Fi. He can control it. He showed me. Matter of fact, some of the video that I spliced in for the Tower Power videos on the water, which you guys haven't seen yet. Those were shot with his 4K, and he was controlling it with his smartphone, which I thought was so cool. So anyways, I think that I've said enough about this camera. We're going to call this video a wrap. So in the future, I think you're going to be able to look forward to seeing hopefully better video quality. And the only other thing I didn't do tonight, which I probably should have, but I'm going to break out the Rode RODE shotgun mic that I picked up for this camera and put it on here and see how that works. Alright, as always, thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see and you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hit the like button. Take care.